Ladies, let me tell you something, and I need you to sit down for this one. If a man treats you like an option, I need you to hear me clearly. That is not him being busy. That is not him being stressed at work. That is not him just not ready right now. That is a man showing you exactly where you rank in his life. And baby, when a man shows you where you rank, you better believe him the first time. You've been sitting there, haven't you? Phone in your hand, staring at the screen, waiting for a text that takes 6 hours to come back, rearranging your whole week because he said, maybe Friday, canceling on your girls because he might want to see you, shrinking your dreams, softening your voice, editing your text 3 times before you hit send. And every time you do it, a little piece of you whispers, why am I working this hard to be chosen? Sister, that pain has a name. It's called being an option in a life you were built to be a priority in. And by the end of this video, you are going to understand exactly how you got here, exactly what's happening inside his mind, and exactly the 6 steps that flip the entire dynamic. Not games, not manipulation, not tricks, real grown woman power moves that make a man sit up, put the phone down, and start treating you like the woman you actually are. So pour yourself something warm, close the door, and let me break this down for you, sister to sister, the way somebody should have broken it down a long time ago. See, here's what nobody wants to tell you. Being an option is not something that happens to you overnight. It's not a lightning strike. It's a slow leak. It's 1,000 small moments where you accepted less, and he learned that less was enough. He didn't wake up one morning and decide to demote you. You trained him. And I'm not saying that to shame you, baby. I'm saying that to wake you up, because if you trained him into treating you like an option, then you have the power to retrain the whole situation or walk away from it entirely. Either way, the power is coming back to you today. Let me tell you what's really happening inside a man's mind. A man is wired to pursue what he values and to manage what he's already secured. When you make yourself too available, too accommodating, too easy to reach, too easy to reschedule, too easy to put on the back burner, his brain files you under secured. And once you're secured in his mind, he stops pursuing you. He stops planning for you. He stops thinking about you when you're not in the room. Because in his head, you're already handled. That's not love, baby. That's inventory management. And here's the brutal truth. A man who truly wants you does not disappear for 3 days and come back with, hey, stranger. A man who truly wants you does not leave you on read while he's posting on his story. A man who truly wants you does not schedule you around his life. He rearranges his life around you, period. And any man who tells you different is a man who has already decided you're not the one he's rearranging anything for. Now hear me on this, because I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, but he's stressed, but his job is crazy, but he had a bad breakup before me, but he grew up without a father. But, sister, stop. Every man on this earth is stressed. Every man on this earth has a past. Every man on this earth has excuses available to him. But a man who wants you as a priority will move mountains to show it. Even when he's tired, even when he's broke, even when life is falling apart. Because a man protects what he treasures. And what a man does not protect, he does not treasure. It's really that simple. So how do we flip this? How do you go from the woman he texts when he's bored to the woman he plans his week around? How do you go from the backup plan to the main event? How do you go from she'll understand to I can't lose her? That's what we're getting into. 6 powerful steps. Every one of them tested. Every one of them real. Every one of them designed to give you back what should have never left in the first place. Your throne. Step number 1, baby. And this one is going to sting a little. So brace yourself. You have to stop being so easy to access. I don't mean physically. I mean emotionally, mentally, energetically. You have to become a woman with a life so full, so rich, so layered that fitting you in requires effort. And I want you to hear me carefully. This is not about playing games. This is not about waiting 3 hours to text back to look cool. This is about actually building a life where you are not sitting by the phone in the first place. Let me tell you about a woman I know. Let's call her Maya. Maya was 32 years old, beautiful, corporate job, the whole package. And she was dating a man who had her on a string. He would call her at 10 p.m. on a Tuesday and say, come through. And Maya would drop everything, cancel her workout, skip dinner with her sister, reschedule her therapy appointment, because she was afraid if she said no, he'd find somebody who said yes. You know that fear, don't you? That specific fear that says, if I don't show up, she will. Well, one day Maya got tired, not angry tired, grown woman tired. And she made a decision. She said, I am going to build a life that I do not want to be interrupted from. So she signed up for a Pilates class 3 nights a week. She started a book club with her girlfriends on Sunday afternoons. She picked up her paintbrush again for the first time in 6 years. She started saying, I can't tonight, but I'm free Saturday at 4. You know what happened? The first week he got quiet. The second week he got curious. The third week he showed up at her door with flowers and asked, what's going on with you? Because a man notices when a woman he's used to controlling suddenly has a center of gravity he can't shake. He notices when your energy shifts from please pick me to I'm already picked by myself. So step 1, build a life so full that being a priority is the only way to be in it. Not because you're punishing him, but because you're finally honoring you. Step number 2, and this one is going to require you to develop a spine of steel. You have to stop over-explaining yourself. Sister, I need you to hear me. When you over-explain, you over-give. When you over-give, you over-invest. And when you over-invest in a man who is under-investing in you, the math will never work in your favor. You know what I mean? He asks where you were, and you write a paragraph. He asks why you didn't answer, and you send 3 voice notes. He gives you 1-word replies, and you fill in the silence with your whole heart. Baby, stop. A woman who knows her worth doesn't audition for her own life. She doesn't explain her boundaries. She doesn't justify her rest. She doesn't apologize for her standards. She says what she means, and she lets the silence do the rest of the work. Let me tell you something men don't say out loud, but every man knows. Silence from a confident woman is the most unsettling thing on this planet. When you stop chasing his approval with your words, his brain starts chasing your approval with his behavior. That's how the polarity flips. Not with games, with grace under pressure, with a closed mouth and an open heart, with a woman who has said her piece and does not need to say it again. And here's the spicy truth. A man does not respect the words of a woman who says everything twice. He respects the actions of a woman who says it once and moves accordingly. So the next time he does something that crosses your line, tell him one time, clearly, calmly, without a lecture. And then let your feet do the talking. Let your absence do the teaching. Let your energy do the correcting. Because a woman who repeats herself is a woman who is begging to be believed. And a woman who is begging to be believed is a woman who has already lost the room. Step number 3, sister, You have got to reclaim your yes, because right now your yes is on sale. And when your yes is on sale, no man in his right mind is going to pay full price for it. What do I mean by that? Your yes to a date, your yes to a phone call, your yes to your time, your yes to your body, your yes to your energy, your yes to your softness, all of it. Every single yes you give is currency. And when you hand out that currency for free to anybody who asks at any hour on any terms, you devalue the whole economy of you. I knew another woman. Let's call her Rachel. Rachel was the kind of woman who would say yes to a man before he even finished the question. He would say, "Hey, are you?" And she would say yes. She was so afraid of being difficult, so afraid of being labeled dramatic, so afraid of being that woman that she said yes to things her spirit was screaming no to. Yes to the last minute plans. Yes to the situationship for 2 years. Yes to the we don't need labels. Yes to the I don't want to define it right now. Yes to the crumbs. Yes to the crumbs. Yes to the crumbs. And one night Rachel was crying in her bathtub and she realized nobody was making her say yes. She was doing it to herself. And in that moment, she made a promise. She said, "From this day forward, my yes is going to cost something. Not money, not games, but intentions, consistency, respect, effort. If a man wants my yes, he is going to have to earn it." You know what that does to a man? It wakes him up. Because when your yes is no longer guaranteed, his ego kicks in and now he wants to prove he can get it. That's not manipulation, baby. That's magnetism. That's what happens when a woman remembers her yes is a gift, not an expectation. Step number 4. And this one is where a lot of women fumble. So listen close. You have to stop confusing intensity with love. Real love is not butterflies. Real love is not the roller coaster. Real love is not the up and down, hot and cold. I need you one day and I need space the next. That, sister, is chaos. And chaos wearing a suit is still chaos. Real love is consistency. Real love is boring in the most beautiful way. Real love is the man who texts you good morning every single day, not the one who ghosts you for a week and comes back with a poem. Real love is the man who shows up when he says he's going to show up at the time he said he was going to show up, dressed the way he said he'd be dressed, with the flowers he said he'd bring. Real love is predictable in the ways that matter and surprising in the ways that delight. But so many of us, and I'm including some of the best women I know, got taught somewhere along the way that if it doesn't hurt, it's not real. That if he's not making you cry, he's not making you feel. That if there's no drama, there's no depth. Baby, that is a lie. That is a lie told to us by movies, by music, by mamas who never got to experience peace themselves. That is a generational lie, and it dies today right here on this call. You are allowed to want peace. You are allowed to want a man whose love feels like a warm blanket, not a lightning storm. You are allowed to be bored in the best way by a man who is safe and steady and present. And any voice in your head that says, but he's not exciting enough, that voice is not your intuition. That voice is your trauma trying to keep you in familiar chaos. So step 4, start choosing peace over passion. Choose consistency over chemistry. Choose the man who shows up over the man who lights you up and burns you down. Because the man who lights you up and burns you down is not a man. He is a fire, and you cannot build a home in a fire, sister. Now let me pause right here and tell you something, because I can feel some of you resisting. I can feel some of you saying, but Steve, what if he's not doing any of this, and I still love him? And baby, I hear you. I hear you deep in my chest. because love is real, and love doesn't turn off just because a man is behaving badly. Love doesn't have a switch. But here's what I need you to understand. You can love a man and leave him. You can love a man and stop accepting his behavior. You can love a man from a distance so far that he becomes a memory instead of a wound. Love is not a reason to stay. Love is a feeling. Compatibility, character, consistency, commitment, those are the reasons to stay. And if a man doesn't have those 4 C's, then all the love in the world is not going to build you the life you deserve. You are not asking for too much. You have never been asking for too much. You will never be asking for too much. Say it with me. I am not asking for too much. I am asking for exactly enough. And any man who calls exactly enough too much is a man who was never going to give you enough. Ever. All right, let's keep moving because we're just getting warmed up. Step number 5. Sister, you have to master the art of the exit. Not the dramatic exit. Not the storming out. Not the I'm never speaking to you again and then blowing his phone up at 2 a.m. I'm talking about the quiet, grown woman, graceful exit. The exit that leaves no crumbs behind. The exit that says, I am not upset. I am not confused. I am simply done. Because here's the truth about men that nobody tells you. A man does not respond to your words. A man responds to your movement. You can tell a man 1,000 times that you're unhappy, and he will nod, apologize, promise to change, and then do the exact same thing the next weekend. But the moment you actually move, the moment you stop calling, stop texting, stop showing up, stop reacting, stop performing, his whole system goes into panic mode. Why? Because men experience loss differently than women. When a woman loses a man, she feels it right away. She cries. She calls her girls. She processes. She grieves. But when a man loses a woman, the loss hits in delay. It hits when he reaches for his phone at 9 p.m. on a Wednesday and remembers she's not going to text. It hits when he passes the restaurant y'all used to go to. It hits when he sees a woman with your same laugh or your same walk or your same perfume in a crowd of strangers. That's when it hits him, and it hits him hard. So when you master the exit, you are not being cruel. You are giving him the only lesson he was ever going to learn from you. And you are giving yourself the only gift that matters.
Your freedom.
Let me tell you about a woman named Tasha. Tasha had been dating a man for 3 years. 3 years, ladies. 3 years of not right now. 3 years of I'm just not in the headspace for a title. 3 years of introducing her as my friend to his people while she introduced him as my man to hers. 3 years of holidays alone. 3 years of birthdays where he forgot. 3 years of a life on layaway. And one day Tasha didn't yell. She didn't cry. She didn't beg. She just stopped. She stopped answering his calls immediately. She stopped double texting. She stopped explaining. She started a new job. She started dating herself. She started saving money for a trip to Portugal she had been putting off for him. 2 months later, he showed up at her apartment with a ring. 2 months, sister. 3 years of nothing. And 2 months of her absence made him find a jeweler. Now, did Tasha take him back? That's between Tasha and God. But the lesson is this. Your absence is louder than any argument you will ever have. Your peace is more persuasive than any lecture you will ever give. And a man will not miss what he has not lost. So when it's time to walk, walk. Don't announce it. Don't debate it. Don't over-explain it. Just gather your peace and go. And let the silence say what your words never could. Step number 6. And this is the one that ties it all together, baby. You have to fall in love with yourself so completely, so thoroughly, so devotedly that being anyone's option becomes physically Impossible. Not because you're arrogant, but because your cup is so full, there is no room for a man to pour poison into it. I need you to understand something. Every single one of the previous 5 steps flows from this one. You cannot build a full life if you don't love yourself. You cannot stop over-explaining if you don't love yourself. You cannot reclaim your yes if you don't love yourself. You cannot choose peace over intensity if you don't love yourself. You cannot master the graceful exit if you don't love yourself. Self-love is not a spa day. Self-love is not a bubble bath. Self-love is not a hashtag. Self-love is the daily disciplined, sometimes boring, sometimes brutal practice of choosing yourself over and over, even when nobody is watching, even when nobody is clapping, even when it would be easier to abandon yourself for a little bit of male attention. Self-love looks like going to bed on time, even when he's texting. Self-love looks like keeping your therapy appointment, even when he wants to see you. Self-love looks like eating a full meal, even when your stomach is in knots. Self-love looks like getting your hair done for you, not for him. Self-love looks like saving money in an account he doesn't know about. Self-love looks like keeping your friendships tight, your family close, your face strong, your body healthy, your mind sharp, and your spirit protected. Because here's what happens when a woman loves herself out loud. She becomes unshakable. And an unshakable woman is the most attractive thing on this earth. Not because she's playing hard to get, but because she is genuinely, deeply, unmistakably hard to get. She is not sitting around waiting for a man to give her a life. She already has a life. And any man who wants in has to add value. Add value. He does not get to subtract. He does not get to break even. He has to add. Now, I want to warn you about something, because this is where a lot of women mess up. When you start doing all 6 of these steps, you are going to feel a pull, a strong pull, to go back to the old ways, to send that I miss you text, to break your no, to answer at 2 a.m. when he calls after weeks of silence, to explain yourself one more time, to give him one more chance because he seems different now. Sister, listen to me carefully. That pull is not love. That pull is not intuition. That pull is your nervous system screaming for the familiar. Your body has gotten used to the anxiety, the uncertainty, the crumbs. And when you take that away, your body panics. It says, give me back my drug. And your drug, baby, is his inconsistency. You have to ride out that pull. You have to sit in the discomfort of being a woman who no longer accepts less. You have to grieve the version of you that thought love had to hurt. And on the other side of that grief is a woman you have never met before. A woman who does not chase. A woman who does not shrink. A woman who does not beg. A woman who walks into a room and knows in her bones that she is the prize. That woman is you. She has always been you. She's just been buried underneath years of being told she was too much, too loud, too emotional, too deep, too sensitive, too smart, too independent, too soft, too strong. And today, we bury that story. Today, we resurrect her. Today, she comes home. Now, let me tell you one more story, because I want to make sure this lands in the deepest part of you. Her name was Denise. Denise was 41 years old, divorced, 2 kids. She had spent her 20s chasing a man who wouldn't marry her, and her 30s in a marriage to a man who didn't cherish her. By 41, she was tired. She was done. She had almost given up on the idea that love could look different for her. But something happened one Sunday morning. She woke up, made herself coffee, sat on her porch, and had a conversation with God. She said, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not shrinking. I'm not settling. I'm not chasing. If you send me a love, it's going to have to meet me where I am, full, whole, and unwilling to be less. 6 months later, she met a man in a bookstore. He wasn't the flashiest. He wasn't the loudest. He didn't slide into her DMs with game. He simply asked her what she was reading, listened to her answer, and asked if he could take her to dinner. That was it. No mystery, no games, no hot and cold. And you know what? He treated her like a priority from day one. Not because she made him, not because she manipulated him, but because when she walked into his life, she was already whole. She wasn't a project. She wasn't a rescue mission. She was a completed woman offering him the honor of joining her life. And he had the good sense to say yes and mean it. That's what's waiting for you, sister. On the other side of these 6 steps, not manipulation, not games, not tricks, just the natural, inevitable result of a woman who has come home to herself and refuses to leave herself ever again. And I want to say something to those of you who are married or in long relationships and wondering if it's too late. Baby, it is never too late. You can start every one of these steps inside your current relationship. You can build the full life. You can stop over explaining. You can reclaim your yes. You can choose peace. You can master the art of the emotional exit, meaning you stop pouring into a man who is not pouring into you, even while you share a home with him. You can fall in love with yourself in the middle of your marriage. And your husband is going to feel the shift. He is going to either rise to meet the new you, or he is going to reveal that he was never willing to. Either way, you win. Because here's the deepest truth I want you to carry with you. The goal was never to get the man. The goal was always to become the woman. The right man is a consequence of the right woman. He is a byproduct. He is a bonus. He is a beautiful side effect of a woman who chose herself first. And when you make becoming her your entire mission, the men who cannot handle her will fall away. And the man who was made for her will find his way to your door. Now, some of you are going to hear this and get scared. You're going to say, but what if I do all this and I end up alone? And baby, I want to tell you something with all the love in my heart. Being alone is not the worst thing that can happen to you. The worst thing that can happen to you is being in a relationship where you feel alone. Being in a bed with a man whose back is turned. Being at a dinner table with a man who doesn't see you. Being in a marriage where you have to shrink to fit. That is loneliness. That is the kind of alone that eats a woman alive from the inside out. Alone by yourself with a full life is not lonely. It is holy. It is preparation. It is the sacred ground where your future self is being built. Do not fear it. Embrace it. Because a woman who is comfortable being alone with herself is a woman no man can ever manipulate again. Her peace is not for sale. Her presence is not for rent. Her energy is not for lease. She is a whole country, and you either come correct at the border or you don't come in at all. So let's bring it home, sister. Let me repeat these 6 steps one more time because I want you to write them on your heart. Step 1, build a life so full that being a priority is the only way to be in it. Step 2, stop over-explaining yourself. Step 3, reclaim your yes. Step 4, choose peace over intensity. Step 5, master the art of the graceful exit. Step 6, fall in love with yourself so completely that being anyone's option becomes physically impossible. 6 steps, 6 shifts, 6 reasons a man will never again put you in the when I have time folder of his life. Because when you carry yourself like a priority, you become one. And when you carry yourself like an option, that's what you get. You teach the world how to treat you every single day, in every small choice, in every text you send, in every plan you accept, in every boundary you enforce or ignore. And I want you to hear these truths in the deepest part of your chest, because I need you to carry them with you long after this video is over. You are not too much. You have never been too much. You will never be too much. You are not too deep. You are not too emotional. You are not too sensitive. You are not asking for too much. You are asking for exactly what you are worth. And if a man cannot see your worth, that is not a reflection of your value. That is a reflection of his vision. You are a priority, sister. Not a maybe, not a sometimes, not a when I get around to it. You are a priority. Say it out loud right now wherever you are. I am a priority. Say it again. I am a priority. One more time with your whole chest. I am a priority. Now carry that with you. Carry it into the next text you write. Carry it into the next date you go on. Carry it into the next difficult conversation you have with the man in your life. Carry it into every mirror, every meeting, every moment where the world tries to convince you that you are less than what God made you to be. Because here is what I know, sister. I know that the woman who is watching this video right now is on the edge of a transformation. I can feel it. There is a woman inside of you who has been trying to get out for years, and today she just found the door. All you have to do is walk through it. One step, then another, then another. 6 steps, 6 declarations, 6 revolutions of the soul. And on the other side of those 6 steps, there is a life you cannot even imagine right now. A life where you wake up next to a man who chose you fully and continues to choose you every single day. A life where you don't have to check his phone or wonder where he is, or interpret his silence, or decode his mixed signals. A life where love is easy, not because it doesn't take work, but because you are working with a partner who is working just as hard as you are. A life where you finally exhale. That life is yours. It has your name on it. It is waiting for you, but you cannot walk into that life carrying the old you. You have to leave her at the door, the version of you that begs, the version of you that shrinks, the version of you that settles, the version of you that explains, the version of you that waits by the phone. Leave her, sister, with love, with gratitude. She got you this far, but she cannot take you where you're going. Where you're going, you need the new woman, the woman who knows her worth, the woman who does not chase, the woman who does not shrink, the woman who does not beg, the woman who walks in the room and the whole atmosphere shifts, the woman who does not have to raise her voice to be heard because her presence is already speaking. The woman who does not have to prove anything because she has nothing to prove. She is not the option. She is not even the choice. She is the standard. That woman is you. She is being born in this moment. And every time you apply one of these 6 steps, she gets a little bigger, a little stronger, a little more real. Until one day, and it will happen sooner than you think, you will look in the mirror and you will not recognize the woman staring back at you, because the woman staring back will not have any traces left of the woman who accepted less. She will be gone, and in her place will be a queen. So the next time your phone lights up at 11:47 p.m. with a "you up" text from a man who has been ignoring you for a week, I want you to smile, and I want you to put the phone face down, and I want you to go make yourself some tea, and I want you to remember you are not a hotel. You are not a convenience store. You are not a 24-hour drive-through. You are a woman, a whole woman. A whole, complete, magnificent, God-made woman. And your time, your energy, your body, your love, your yes, all of it is priceless. Act like it, walk like it, text like it, date like it, live like it, and watch what happens. If this hit your spirit today, baby, drop a heart in the comments and let another woman hear this too. Because sometimes the best thing we can do for our sisters is to say, here, This is for you. Read this when you're about to break your standards. Read this when you're about to